class. How are we doing today?
Good.
Great. Today we're going to be going over the chemical relaxer portion of our chemical texturizing chapter, chapter 18. Let's talk a little bit about what chemical relaxers do. Chemical relaxers is a chemical that you apply to the hair that rearranges curly hair into a straighter, sleeker look. Their curly hair exists among all races. So anybody can get a relaxer. It's up to the stylist or the student to determine which relaxer works best for your client. If you do a thorough client consultation, all of these questions will be answered in your consultation. Now, let's talk about the many different types of relaxers. Here in front of you, I have 3 different types of relaxers. First, we have our regular relaxer. Then we have our sensitive relaxer, which your sensitive relaxer usually has to be mixed with another ingredient that protects the scalp from the product. This is for your clients that just straight up say, I have a sensitive scalp, I am tender-headed, I would use the sensitive relaxer. Or your clients that come in and that have been scratching a lot, I would use this for them also. The other relaxer that we have is called our Honey Nectar Time Release Relaxer. What this relaxer does is it gives you time to put the relaxer on before it starts to work. This relaxer is mainly for your stylists or your students that are a little slower than normal on putting relaxers on. Now let's talk about the different application processes. One application is called a virgin relaxer. This is for your client that has never been relaxed. There are 100% curly. That is the application you would do for them. Then we also have a retouch application, which this is for your clients that are previously relaxed that just need their new growth to be touched up. Now let's go over some of the tools that you're going to need for a relaxer. Well, first, with any relaxer, you're going to need a relaxer. You need to decide during your client consultation what type of relaxer is best for your client. Okay, then we have a conditioner. You always want to follow up your relaxer first with neutralizing shampoo. Not just any shampoo, it needs to be neutralizing shampoo. The reason for it is because the neutralizing shampoo stops the relaxer from working. Most neutralizing shampoos, they turn a certain color when there's still oil residue from the relaxer left on the hair shaft. So you need to definitely follow up with a neutralizing shampoo. And then I always recommend a very, very good conditioner because a relaxer is such a harsh chemical. It really does rearrange the whole hair structure. You need to follow up with a very good moisturizing reconstructive conditioner. This happens to be 6-in-1. Your other tools that you're going to need is you are going to need a bowl, a tint bowl, and a tint brush. You are also going to need a shampoo cape. You will need extra towels. Definitely need clips so that we can clip the hair up and stay organized. We're definitely going to need protective cream. Now let me talk a little bit about the protective cream. Protective cream is to protect the skin from the relaxer so that we won't burn the skin. Not to be put into the hair because, as I said, this protects against the relaxer. A couple of more tools that we're going to need is we're going to need gloves. The only reason why I don't have gloves is because I'm actually not going to use the relaxer on the mannequin. I don't recommend ever using a real relaxer on mannequins. We're actually going to use conditioner, so it's going to be nice and soft and gentle on my hands. Now, your client consultation is extremely, extremely important. It is the most important part of your service because this is where you find out all you need to know about the client. You find out if they've been previously relaxed. You find out if they've been scratching. You find out if they have color on their hair. You find out many things in the client consultation. During your client consultation, you need to analyze the client's hair. You really need to take your comb and you need to look at the client's hair. We need to part it down the middle and check for breakage. We need to check for any abrasions on the scalp. The reason why you want to check for that is because if they do have abrasions on the scalp, the relaxer could very much burn. You really need to look at the client's hair and definitely analyze the scalp. And make sure that the scalp is nice and healthy. And make sure that the hair is healthy enough to hold the relaxer. Also, during your client consultation, you need to recommend home managing hair products. Because you can only do so much in the shop. It's a team effort. So I recommend sending clients home with whatever conditioner that you use so that they can continue to moisturize and re-amp the healthiness of their hair after a chemical relaxer. And definitely, if you do any chemicals on any clients, you should definitely do a client release card. Now let's go over the procedure of the relaxer. With all relaxers, whether it's a retouch or it's a virgin, you want to section the hair into 4 sections. You want to start at the middle of the hairline and go down to the back of the middle of the nape. Then you want to start at the top of the head and go down to the ear. Just like so. Okay? And that can be my one section. And make sure you got your clips. So that we can stay nice and neat and organized. The more organized you are, the better service you can give to your client. Okay, so there's my one section, and we're going to part this back here and get another section. Now, when you're doing chemicals, you need to start your chemicals in the most resistant area. Your most resistant area is going to be your back right quadrant. It's not like that on all clients, but the majority of clients, that's their most resistant area. So, with that being said, on your client consultation is where you should be able to analyze your client's hair and find out where their most resistant area is, and then you would want to start in that area. Alright, so now that I'm sectioned into 4 sections, and my client is clipped up, now I need to protect my client. Not only do I need to protect my client from the product itself with my protective cream, but I need to protect my client's clothing from the product. So the way that you do that is you do a chemical drape. Towel, cape, towel. So the way I do it to save on my towels is I put one towel on, and then I apply my cape. Like so. And then what I'm going to do, because you don't want the cape to touch your client's skin. That's why you need a towel underneath. You also need a towel on top to protect the cape from the product. So, you have the towel underneath, and now you have the towel on top to do towel, cape, towel. Next, we need to protect the client's skin from the relaxer. I always recommend putting your protective cream on the back of your hand and not using the tip of the bottle for cross-contamination. Now the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put a little bit on my hand and I'm going to go around the hairline trying not to get it in the hair. Okay, and we're going to go down, back on the other side. We also need to get it on the tips of the ears because that tends to be where people burn at also. Then next, you would put on your gloves to protect yourself from the relaxer. Now, let's go over application. I want to demonstrate both techniques. First, we're going to go over the virgin technique. The virgin technique is how you do the virgin technique.
Yeah.
Body heat makes the relaxer process faster, okay? So you want to leave it off of the scalp first. The ends are very porous, which means they are going to process also as fast and can be damaged even more. So on a virgin relaxer, you want to start about a ½ inch away from the scalp, and you want to do the mid-shaft only. Now your subsections are ½ inch subsections. The reason for this is because relaxers are so harsh, you need plenty enough hair for the relaxer to go through so that it won't damage it. Okay, so I'm going to put the hair in my hand, and I'm going to apply it to the mid-shaft only, because the mid-shaft is the healthiest part of the hair, which means it's going to take longer to process. So I'm going about 1 inch to my ends and about a ½ inch from my scalp. Okay, let me show you that one more time. Once again, this is our virgin application. We're going to take ½ inch subsections. I'm going to apply the relaxer a ½ inch from the root down to about 1 inch from the ends, because our ends are porous and we don't need them to be any more damaged. How about one more? Let's do one more. Okay, so we're taking ½ inch subsections.